Hello, my last gamer. Welcome to the video. I just wanted to let you know I do have a Discord and a Twitter if you ever want to interact with me or say hi or have a conversation. And if you ever want to catch these videos live, head over to my Twitch and my Kick and come hang out. I sometimes don't talk. That's unfortunately one of my mini quirks. Is my inability to formulate thoughts as my brain focuses in on what I'm doing, and then I'll just forget to speak. So I'm always up to hang out and chat with anyone that stops by. So hope you enjoyed the video. Alright, let's continue on. I wonder how much lore left with the game there is. I'm gonna go back to the rig and go to sleep. Thanks for coming up, sleeper. Carmen's waiting for you and Seraphin as you arrive at the medbay. Looking a lot fresher. He leads you into a small alcove set up like an office with an aging terminal. A simple welded desk. A small window looking out across the dusty rocks of 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓲𝓃. Got some news for us, Seraphin asked impatiently. Since you arrived back in the manufacturer, he has been restless, though you aren't sure why. Not to worry. Carmen's smile grins slyly. I think you want to hear this. The 𝓤𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓲𝓃 terminal file browsing appears. The screen that shows hundreds of individual pieces of data. Nikita has been busy. Or Attica has been busy. Carmen gestures towards the screen. Nikita. She's been scraping the bow communications cycle after cycle, got access to ciphers, encryptions that only gang's leadership should be able to see. He smiles. It seems like she's learned some tricks since we worked together. That's not matters. What matters is the content of these messages. He taps a few of the keys, loads up the data, which scrolls down the side of the screen. Some parts of Bow's leadership have been getting ideas about taking Greenbelt and controlling food production in the belt. About exerting power over Wellspring. Big ideas for the gang. But these Bow members aren't alone. They found themselves a powerful ally. Carmen shook his head. 𝓤𝓼𝓃, the one two corporations fighting the bitter battle, control from the lunar system. But precocious force, one that 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓙 is opening to door the belt to. 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓙 is opening the door of the belt too. You can't be serious, Seraphin said. They can't be that stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Someone in Sambo is trying to broker a partnership. Ooh, Seraphin looking over at the screen. Only Carmen answered. Neither is Seraphin. Lane, Seraphin looks at you. He shakes his head. It has to be Lane. Carmen looks between you two. It seems like you already know something I don't know. Lane's a piece of shit. Those leaderships who thinks he owns us. Seraphin shakes his head. That kind of piece of shit arrogant enough to try to manipulate 𝓤𝓼𝓃. Seraphin nods thoughtfully. I'm starting to see how you cross paths with Attica. We have a shared enemy, then. Carmen pauses, his face unmoving. I'm not sure you want this fight, sleeper. Like I said, Nikita and I have been working together. To put simply, ran in the same mercenary outfit. Carmen looks away. Lots happened since then, but this message, this data, I'm calling her. It's her calling in a favor. I owe her. And I owe her, that's for sure. Carmen shakes his head, pushing off the desk, off from the desk, crossing the room, looking out the window. 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮 is pale, airless life for hell. After what went down, I owe you both too. Carmen looks, staring at the surface of the hostile rock, and wonder what he sees out there. He established the colony as a fallback, a retreat, not just for him, but for others too. But you get the feeling that Carmen knows any retreat's only ever temporary. He turns to look at you, and you, sleeper, what will you do? We have to fight like Bow. Because at the end of the day, we don't need the corporation that's fighting another war in the inner system bringing that war out here. Because as soon as the belt's now allied with 𝓤𝓼𝓲, is the second that the other corporation is going to start firing fucking rounds in here. So we need to remain neutral and keep them the fuck out. Because not doing that is just accepting the inevitable at that point. 𝓤𝓲𝓽𝓸𝓻 requires us to fight 𝓤 in 𝓤𝓲𝓽𝓲𝓃. On the gang, Cameron smiles. Are you sure about that? I'm going to end lane. Whatever it takes. Seraphine stares at Cameron, fist balled. It looks at you. That's going to be one way to get you. That one is going to get you in trouble. He turns to Seraphine. But I like that energy. He looks out the window. That's not something we're going to take head on. He shakes his head. Annika set us here. Weapon. Cameron turns and gestures to the console of the screen. Rearms the incriminating data. 𝓤 doesn't control all of Darkseid. They only aspire to. They also claim to offer protection from the war of 𝓤𝓼𝓲 and Conway. Oh yeah, it's Conway is the other side. And that princess with the opportunity. If 𝓤's full membership would rather die than concede Darkseid to corporate interest, we play this right. 𝓤 would end lane for us, to use your phrase. We leak the data? Not leak. This is delicate, tricky. There's a lot of ways we can play this. This can play out badly for all of us. We can handle it. We cried Darkseid once, we can do it again. Seraphine's confidence is infectious. Is that right? Carmen seems to be thinking about something, though. He crosses the console at the window, then console and more. Alright, I'm gonna need some time, but I can put this together. Carmen nods. We need that energy, but we also need to be ready. We rush in is not ending well, so I can wait. Carmen turns his attention. We'll go from Greenbelt when you're ready. I have friends who can help us get that ship of yours in the dark side. We had our own preparations to make, but we'll be ready. Seraphine looks at you. Alright. And his drive is handed to you. Take this, get out of here. I don't want anyone finding that thing in my possession. You take it, the Titan device somehow heavier. Now that you know it contains the key to exposing lane. See you. Thank you. I'll see you in the wheat sheaf. Carmen smiles. They'll know me there. Just understand something. Carmen's expression turns serious. You want my help on this thing? There's no way we can let it go back to the colony. Once you leave here, you're not coming back. Olivera, not until this is done. He meets your eye. He needs confirmation that you recognize the importance of this. I understand. And then you could go. He returns to the window, stare at whatever he sees up there among the dusty rocks. And you come back to the rig fins waiting for you. I love how we have the we need to investigate fucking Darkseid still. I feel like we don't need to do that. Back to the rig, Finn's waiting for you, leaning at the dock tunnel, bag over shoulder, look up as you approach. Hey, Finn nods, gritting. Well, I'm sure. Hey. I know you've already done a lot for me, so I'm not going to push you or ask you for pity. They pause when you feel like they've been prepared this speech. Firstly, I owe you. I want to pay you back. I can work, I can fight, I can protect this ship and this crew with everything I have. Secondly, we come from the same place. Whether you remember or not, that means something, and it must. I know I'm not the easy to get on with. I know you might have some reservations about another sleep on the ship. Also, Blitz, I think, would love this project of trying to fix another sleeper. Let them finish. Amika, ready. Move on. I want to show you my value. And yeah, I think that's it. Get Finn, their frame, so much more damage than yours. The fire burning in their eyes makes them seem bigger than they are. Welcome aboard. You smile crosses Finn's face, or Flint's face, Finn's face. They look down to hide it. Thank you, they say to the floor. This will work out, you see. Flint nods to you once more and then glides down to the docking tunnel towards the ship. As the two warriors of the edge of the docking concourse catch your eye, past look shifting a little As you do, you recognize Cadence leaning in, some words exchanged, and you only guess that your figure embraces Cadence and turns back to ship. Seraphim approaches, he ducks in his head, passing quietly as you dock the tunnel without a word. You take one last look at the docks, but Cadence is gone. Your idle moment is no. You're idle a moment longer and feel something, a presence, even in an empty bay, something rare in all the belt. His elevator captured, but all things you must leave it behind. Did I have to bring Kadat to the fucking to dark side? Engine tucked away, it's a rare find. Engine boat tucked away, it's a rare find. It's feeding cat time. Find yourself in the cockpit alone with Flint. By entering the room silently as you don't notice them arrive, or reverse, they're leaving so silently you turn to find them gone. Right now they hover expectantly at the corner of your vision, preparing to speak. Do you ever think about your original? The way they ask the question, you can tell they have an ear. They've been eager to ask for a while. The person that your emulation's from, I mean the person who sold you to SNR. Flynn's expression doesn't portray emotions. Feel like you can detect some unknowable feeling or worrying behind their eyes. Sometimes I can't stop thinking about them and who they are, and if who I am has anything to do with them. Flynn looks away. The personality is a product of being a sleeper, or simply a copy of theirs? Have I changed, or am I still identical to them? Does the emulation process, the loss of memory inserted into the frame, actually make us totally different people? We came through the process of the emulation. What was blocked? Flynn looking around the cockpit rapidly now. Their eyes flicker from object to object as they speak. Are their memories still inside me but cut off, concealed? If I admit it, I wonder if I know what feels like to be a person. Do the humans around me feel the things I feel? Or do they feel more, or feel less, or feel somehow different? Do they feel the creeping claustrophobia of being trapped inside of a body with no escape, cleanse, or do we know how that truly feels? I believe they do. I don't know if that's enough just to believe. When we try, as I want to know. First sleeper I've met since my escape. We can find out together. Share your experiences. There's a wall in you, one that you built for yourself, one that separates the kind of questions one's asking from the parts of you that need to live. You feel the now, weight in your chest, and behind there's a raging torrent pressing against it. You can't take down that wall. You know you would drown, but in this moment, Flynn, and for yourself, you take a single brick and make a gap in the wall, and you share what comes bursting forth. That what feels like to wake up in the dying body, to catch a glance of yourself. Mirror seems to remind you of your false and fractured face. Share the pain of lost memories, of fleeting deja vu, and dreams that slip beneath your waking life and replace it. You find yourself in broken bodies and unstable minds, steady minds, and kind of solidarity one shared between a connection of strangers who might one cycle understand each other as once as friends. And as you put brick by brick and shove short your defenses, cycle, that cycle will not be this impossibility was a reassuring one. I coughed my lungs out. Yeah, message sleeper Seraphin comes to the bunk, taking you, his mood unusually serious. He brings to the cockpit as he keeps it coin in his hand the whole time, spinning between his fingers. Seraphin's worried. When she in the cockpit, you recognize Carmen's voice immediately playing over the rig speaker. Sleeper, I hope this message finds you and your crew safely. Forgive me if I'm a little tight on the details. Message follows. We're ready. We'll be waiting. Agreed. We're agreed. The message ends with a click. So they're waiting at Greenbelt as we're fucking at Greenbelt. The weather chief, he said, whatever that is. You ready? I'm ready. Seraphin nods. Alrighty then. Quiet falls the cockpit. Doesn't seem much more to say. Carmen will be waiting, but no, he'll want you to be prepared. Ready? We are, Sleeper. You're not back. You need this to end. Problem is, I can't go back to figure out what hexaport is unless that's just not. You cannot figure it out unless I was supposed to bring Cadet to the fucking dark side, and I didn't. So the bar. Meet you in the weird shift. You can buy a drink and wait to be called. A drink for yourself, made to wait. Is he not fucking coming? I'm burning! I am burning my money! We received surprisingly welcomely. Oh, I just need to back out. Once was an old 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓸𝓻 canteen. Cork bones are still there, metal stools, strip of service windows, sheet walls. Over tens of thousands of cycles since the collapse, they have been softened, changed, layered with detritus of human existence. As you wait at the bar with Seraphim, you'll look at the planters' welds in the walls, the scrawled messages, layers of stickers and flyers and posters, the amber light fitting replaced with old fluorescent strips, the gear that racks the line with farmers' packs, the netting, the bulging with crates and canisters. Along with low rumble of conversation comes from the off-shift miners. It all lends a warmth to the place, one that helps soothe your nerves ahead of the meet with Carmen. And Seraphim leans side by side at the bar, facing towards the room. You will watch Flint just across from you, who is insisting coming along. Seraphim clears his throat. What do you think, Cadence? I just realized, isn't fucking Flint have his tracker still on? Aren't we having a risk of fucking Hunter going down on us? Sudden question makes you look over. You see he's playing with his coin. What do you mean? Kicks his head. You know what I mean. He closes his hands over the coin. I think... He pauses then and starts again. I think we have a thing. Shakes his head. You know what I mean. I noticed. Yeah, he smiles. I thought you might. Well, he sighs and stretches. I guess... I just wanted you to know. You thinking about how to respond when the bartender taps you on the shoulder and towards the door of the back room. It's time. You towards Seraphim and Flint, who are already approaching you, and you give them a nod, head inside. The back room is a metal wall lined with racks of old SSollheim tech. See cookers and auto wash units piled up with dead terminals and servers at the far end. The window looks out across the greening grass of the Green Belts farms. You made it, Carmen smiles back by the back window. Not to discuss. Good to see you. Flint, if you don't mind. Carmen nods the sleeper as they enter, gestures toward the door, and Flint towards you. I'll be outside. They slide the door shut, standing guard at the outer side. Or the other side. We have to take some precautions, even here. Carmen gestures you come closer. So, the plan of yours is looking any more reasonable? It depends on what your crew can bring to the table. Carmen glances at you. We are going to need to do a lot of work to wreck the data and I could give you towards those who need it. And who do you have in mind? You reveal Lane's betrayal to 𝓤 and Darkseid without being discovered in the process. Not an easy task. They turn on them. Hard to tell without us being there. You know better than me how much infighting is going on with the 𝓤. The suspicion is the recent expansion has stretched them pretty thin. We'll make contact with Annika as soon as we make it onto Darkseid, and she looks around and we just need to stare in Lane's rear. Problem is, Lane literally can feel me getting closer. The thought of Lane brings a memory of his attempt to take over you from your mind, feeling him slipping behind your eyes, moving your frame. It can't happen again. I apologize, we do not wish to interrupt, but we must interject in your current course. The Overseer appears in the void. An encounter with Lane would likely be catastrophic. Forms. We have to mention on arrival to PEP that we must immediately seek the mainframe, from where we can recover the code base and reconstruct ourselves. That'll be able to aid you in a defense against being overwritten. This is the recommended course. The three heads nod simultaneously and decisively. Leaper Willis, you come back concerned, you dropped out for a second. I'm going to explain to the observer so they understand that I have another thing in my head. You tell the Seraphim and Carmen about the observer, how the old 𝓤𝓪 protocol slipped into your frame from the primed ship mine that Gene Mine used in the diagnosis process. See if your overseas protection against Lane's attempts to take control of you, and the proposal that protection effective through old mainframe of Darkseid. Listen quietly. Seraphim's watching you explain. Revealing all this, you feel a burden holding that knowledge alone being lifted. This changes things, Carmen. turns and looks out the large window back room towards the glassy canopy of the farms. We can't take on Elaine without protecting you from him. Carmen turns back. You should look for the mainframe. I'll make contact with Annika. We'll meet it when you're ready. But this has to remain a secret from Elaine and Bo. If you're revealed, I'm not sure I'll be able to recover you. The time we ensure your safety, I'll have to put together a plan to expose Elaine. You take it step by step. The crisis is this: to find a way to disseminate the data. We have Lane and his gang, or even 𝓥𝓲𝓽𝓲𝓃 at large. The path ahead is unclear to him. This is nervous intake from the breath from 𝓤𝓵𝓮. Take the apprehension. There's so many variables at play. Some old techs scraped together to a nearby rat flickers a cascade of status lights. Alternate look as you do, monitors and motors simmer, bending and whirring the machines, and groaning, they harmonize. They begin to produce a voice. Our apologies! The voice still shrill. We must impose ourselves. You recognize the tone of the voice immediately of the observer. We are regretful. 𝓤𝓵𝓮 aware this room is provided. We're regretful. 𝓤𝓵𝓮 are aware this room is provided the opportunity for us to speak for ourselves. This pile of servers overseers controlling you could look any more apologetic you could imagine it would. I understand. We servo clicks skips a rotation thankful. We ascertain required demonstration of data within facility you target. The wine pitches higher, motors increase speed. As 𝓤𝓵𝓮 protocol, we have capabilities to instigate station-wide announcements and messaging. So you can blast out lanes of trail through 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 corporate highlighters to flood the network where the 𝓤𝓵𝓮 looks impatiently the screeching pile of scrap. If that's what you require of us, we are pleased to serve. This shrill tone response makes you cringe. Carmen's been listening silently, but now interjects. Why would we trust you? He glances in your direction. You seem a little more than a parasite in the sleeper system. If we use your unflattering analogy, then we'd understand that a parasite requires a body of a host to live. The motors stutter. We ensure the sleeper's continuance. Afterwards, Carmen folds his arm. When you have what you want and regain your code base from the mainframe, will you still do as we ask? We'll endeavor to do so. The acid smell of burning motors fills the room, but we undergo transformation or refactoring. We'll become whole again, so we cannot speak to our actions in the future with certainty. 𝓤𝓵𝓮 and Carmen exchange concerned looks. We can do what you require. We'll protect the sleeper. We will disseminate the data. We are a service protocol. We will serve. The motors and servos stutter and whine, and then go still. The status lights are blinking, then fading, and Overseer retreats. The interesting thing is the Overseer is able to hack outside of the frame. That is something new. We're actually going to go... We're actually going to do what the ghost says, are we? 𝓤𝓵𝓮 looks between you and Carmen. The offer's tempting, one that ultimately we cannot refuse, Carmen sighs, but must proceed with extreme care and caution. What do you think, Sleeper? 𝓤𝓵𝓮 meets your... I feel like the Observer could have had a lot more opportunities to harm me. Because it has the ability to force me to keep me asleep. So I feel like it could have done a lot more things to harm the hosts. And that it observes and has proved that the current body resident is okay for its purposes. I trust the Overseer. 𝓤𝓵𝓮 sighs, then that's that. Our plan. Carmen turns to you. Sleeper, you and your crew will find a mainframe and access it. I will find AutoKit and will help disseminate the evidence and laying collusion throughout Erzvio. As a fallback, the Overseer will send it through the old network of Darkside. A simple plan until you get into the details. 𝓤𝓵𝓮 looks down frustrated. Speaking of plans, I have a present for you. One that will improve our chances. Carmen pulls a small box from the nearest rack. You haven't noticed before. It hangs open, revealing a chunk of tech you don't recognize. It's a spoof transponder. It will consider your ship approach Darkside, giving you new identity. One unlikely to draw attention from Bo's control, 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻. Transfer turns over. Where did you get this? Even retired mercenaries have their secrets, Carmen smiles. 𝓤𝓵𝓮 looks to you. I'll be with you this time, Sleeper. We should think of who else we want at the station, too. I agree. Make sure you trust those you bring. be prepared the best you can. We can't know how this will play out. We'll nod and get a shot at this. And then we are ready. Carver takes his breath. I have my own way of getting on the dark side, but he takes a small strip of plastic stamped with numbers. My private frequency. When you get approach dark side, message me and I'll sync up my transit. He points the transpondered Seraphim's hand. Just make sure that you install that first. Seraphim nods. We got it. He sighs, and he looks at the weight of the task, and suddenly very apparent. I suppose that's that. Carmen gives you a serious look. It is, he smiles. Don't leave me waiting long. No more time when it's all over. Time when you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder, I hope. You leave Carmen in the back, Flint sliding over to the door. Open the door as you leave. It takes the entire journey back to the ship for your nerves to settle. The end of the ordeal looks so close, yet feels like an impossible leap. Perhaps a handful of cycles you know how it's possible, or it is. So how do you feel about Solheim Protocol in your head? Seraphim doesn't look up from installing transponder, set of wires and cables waving loosely around them. The light of the cockpit. Overseer's okay. Glad to hear it, although you'd have to forgive me for a little bit concerned. He begins unscrewing the panels beneath the flight console. Maybe you could have mentioned it earlier? Seraphim clips the magnetic screwdriver to the side of his console and turns to face you, dusting off his hands. I've understood for a while, Sleeper, that things that you experience that I can't even come close to knowing how they feel. But does it mean I don't understand you as a person? Seraphim gives you a concerned look. I know you're secretive, defensive, and I know you have reasons for that. I also know you're warm, kind, and generous to those on the ship with you. Seraphim pauses, collecting his thoughts. I trust you, Sleeper, and I won't question this. But please hold on to what's human in you, because that is what I'm holding on to. Seraphim stops, his eyes a little wild, his tone a little unsure. He finds himself again, settles into his emotions, and turns back to the transponder. Right, that's it. Smooth transponders in, there's nothing keeping us from Darkseid. You exchange looks. Say the word you want to go. Alright, one last feed of the cat. One hit of the mushrooms. I'm gonna take Flynn. I'm gonna take Junai. I could take Cadet, because I technically do need to investigate the Hexaport situation, but I feel like I've already kind of missed that chance. Alright, Sleeper, you want to do the honors? Seraphim strapped to the pilot seat, guiding the rig toward Darkseid. You take the strip plastic, gave you a copy of frequency of the comms in the window. You take the simple message. Heading in, good luck. The console chimes as the message is sent. Hope Carmen is ready to receive it. Search inside your head, wanting to find the overseer there, but you feel no presence. You hope, ready for what's called. You look at the cockpit towards the distant glimmer of Darkseid. Time to take on lane. When Seraphim brings in the rig into the sunward dock, everyone in the cockpit lets out a sigh of relief. Approach was simple and routine, even. Checking in with the port administration, all signed dock at the beginning of the rig to stop, all familiar, but laced with tension, knowing that any point could all go very wrong. The smooth transponder worked. At least we know that Carmen's good as word. Was there any doubt? Well, I got used to things not going by plan now. Just down, but I'm guessing there's plenty of time for that. You can trust Carmen when unclips his seat from the seat. If Carmen trusts Annika, well, she's good too. We need to worry about Bo, not our allies. Transponder is not as complex as you think, Jedi checks her deck. I imagine Carmen's less concerned about reaching, or so more about what happens once we get there. Try to imagine Carmen somewhere on the dark side, perhaps he's smuggling himself on board of a freighter, or among a crew of trusted ally. You hope he's confident as he seems about finding Annika. We need to spend less time worrying about what Carmen does and about getting ahead of us. Or what's ahead of us? The old facility, Pep. What was, I'm guessing it's facility deep below. Searching, Surfing gestures towards the vast accumulation on the dark side. See, it grows on the back of the Hab Pep. Solar cell layer by layer, chaotic structure, neither planned nor regulated. But its foundation is built on the formal of any corporate facilities. Should be formal of any corporate facility. This means we need a path down into the foundation. Suggest we don't take the first one we find. Scope out the area and look for the path heading of this place. How about though? Well, thanks to our super translator, they don't even know we're here. Let's keep it that way. Take the lead, Flynn puts his hand on his shoulder. Well, we're with you until things are over. Surfing, I'll hold the rig down. We don't want you losing your eggs are out like last time. He winks. Here, I'll hand you the calling earpiece. I'll salvage from the room a suit helmet. It isn't secure, but as long as Bo doesn't know we're here, should be fine. I'll let you know as soon as I hear from Carmen. He meets your eye. Go get this done, Sleeper. That's all it comes down to. Analyze the layer. Parts of the station are cracked open. Try to understand the layers exposed might help the search. I'm the only one that can do that one, and you and I can attempt this one. Separating layers in the station substructure might be bulkheads, hacking them will provide access. A fucking course. A fucking course she would hard fail. That's pretty bad. First, we're going to work on the thing that only I can do. Search the docks. There's a few places to go down. Perhaps this will work. There's tunnels hidden in a few places. Oh, yeah. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Fuck. There's nothing further to be found. It's time to move on. Okay, I'm at 3 stress. I don't want to push it any higher. So I can't get no higher. That seems nothing further to be found. Gliding down the dark side, descending deeper below dark side, or the dark tunnel, descending deep into the dark side. Your piece begins to hiss with static. Sleeper, Seraphim, distant Carmen contact met with target. Soon you hear the rest of the bench is overpowered. You stop and push. Continue, stay safe. Line goes dead. Carmen's on it. He's not the kind to fumble a job. We get Glen's home. We need to keep up. Carmen needs to recover our side of the plan. You continue down the descent during the ducking, the cables, the busy urban life. The city above seems far away now. Hidden from your senses, it's a rumble of brightness that's been replaced by clogging, dark, oppressive heat. Dark side and the Pep have facility have been built on, have been understrained ever since the collapse. Large huge volume energy, more residents could ever use. You feel like you sense it in the walls running towards just behind the skin of the metal, the rubber. Large portions of vast current running through the place. The station's radiated into the void as heat, making Darkside typically human station, but down here the heat is drier, more intense. The sections of wall grow fiery intent. The tunnel levels out, light blasts through the shuttered striped viewing windows on either side, illuminating the passage. Ships burning through a gaps you can see the labyrinth of walkways, the scaffolding duct, the margins, the vast solar cells. The heat washes over your vinyl skin, making tints against it. The underside of dark side must be crossed. Substructure. Our line yet leads you through deeper, the cooler passages much close through. Our line networks, the old station, leads you back to the core. If you can decipher it, blasting back the backing of the heat that overcharged with the electricity, best to avoid the solar cells sticking to the margins. Right, we need to spend one more day. I'm hoping that one of my dice doesn't break. That would kind of fucking suck. Okay, my dice didn't break. Thank goodness. We got supplies for now. I won't need to stop and grab more. You made it to the core of the old HEPEP facility station finally. Especially the HEPEP facility you've seen through the view windows, shuttered slats, huge blistering protrusions out. The hex-shaped cells, you approached it, circled it, and now you find yourself pressing into it, the layer after layer of broken corridor safety doors. Even though you've not felt the overseer stirring, you would know that this is the mainframe, but you have felt the protocols. But you have felt the protocols present, restlessly turning in your mind like a sleeping animal, occasionally probing your senses, tracking your progress. We feel at home. Overseers multiply, stretch out, basking in the sunlight. The systems and network signals, they're fractured and weak. We know them. Each broken head stares up part of the smile. They are welcoming us. Stay with us. Flynn grasps your soldier. Don't let the protocol take control. Look over your shoulder towards something you can't see. We have to be at the mainframe now. Overseer will get stronger, resistant. You look around, suddenly you're aware. You drifted somewhere you did not recognize in the state where you were not in control. Spherical chamber you float in as a mezzanine set around its circumference. The floor of the metal grating you can see through. On the mezzanine, the banks of terminals, thick gathered cables snaking away across the floor. All breaks the heat of the HEP's vast resistors. You follow the cables with your eyes. They lead to a singular column down the apex of the structure. It's corroded and bent a little. Very few of its thousands of lights are still flickering. Even though in the decayed state, you know immediately this is the mainframe. Feel the yearning towards it, but you know it comes from the Overseer. But as you look around for the connection point, All you see is burnt cables and rusted sockets, all broken terminals. The glow of warmth makes you feel woozy. You need to work quickly to bring us back online before the current of this place bakes you into the metal of the walls. Reboot terminals or repair connections. I'm going to do my engineering thing of repairing connections. No way to interface to the rusted mainframe without clean connectors. Does it even work? I have Mr. Robot over here help out. Mainframe terminals listed millions of errors rebooted them before they can be used. The column in the mainframe pulses the fractured light, scattered waves of systems awaken, accompanied by a whine of shuddering machines around. Mainframe's up. It's nervously time to connect. But if I see something that isn't right, I'm pulling you out. You reach the prime connector. With the other hand, touch a socket and base your synthetic skull. As you do, sharp shocks soon runs through your fingers. For a moment, it feels like your vision doubles. As you pull the connector and cable together across your vision, you see only your body is doubling. The connector's a stable object. Your arm leaves a ghostly imprint through the air. You move back and forth, but multiplied arms do not follow. Each instead take on life its own, grabbing around your form, wrist, taking control of your arm. You feel their force pushing your arm across your body and over your shoulder. They push up once more. The connector finds the home up in the socket. That is familiar now. The familiar flow, but stronger, rushing, rapid. There's a figure, no, 3 figures descending onto it. Shimmer sweeps into the river, a sleeper drifting out of the airlock, a symbol being subsumed to a sign, and then you a little more than a witness, a marionette, strings outstretched, mapped hand over hand, leg over leg to another. The flow freezes. 3 figures almost overlap, almost complete, but not quite. They're triple-eyed, looking back at you in horror. Their voices shrill in your head. There's someone else in here. The heat glancing after your vinyl sim, the mainframe is wearing chaos of lights and sounds, a brightness that and then fades, a light shutting off, the server's powering down, a single blinking light left now, a dark column keeping like a metronome. What happened? Then something below in the system? Did the oversee crossover? You close your eyes, try to recall the events that happened. You're connected, playing and back in greater detail. Overture is there, but something froze the system, locked in place. They said someone was in there. You open your eyes. Was this a trap? Someone else took control. Physical static. You flinch, thinking you envision your system, but you're Seraphim through the haze. Sleeper come waiting the rig. It's no use. You have to ascend to find out what's going on topside. You look at the mainframe with a single blinking light, still keeping time. Looks like the overseer will have to wait. Trapped in the mainframe, the overseer will have to still has the key to all of this. You can get the protocol, but you need to hear what Seraphim has to say first. Make your way out of the core, ascending back to the layers of the Hab-Pep, back into the docks. I have a feeling what happened like in the first game. I'm assuming something else is living in that mainframe already. And Observer probably got picked up by whatever's living in there. Unless Lane has been planned all of this somehow, magically. They're waiting inside. He shakes his head, nods to the airlock. Come on. Across the silence, you find Carmen in the cockpit looking at dark side sprawl across the stars. Unless Lane's fucking living in the mainframe somehow. Sleeper, Carmen turns to you. Sorry to pull you away, but you need to know something. What's coming? What's going on? This idiot blew my cover. You turn to Anna, because he's behind you, and Seraphim neatly clock the fresh badge on the sleeve of their right arm. I think you did a pretty good job of that yourself. You see a twinkle in his eye, suggesting this back and forth practice part of the relationship, perhaps, but we'll never know now, not if you intervene to rescue me. His hands go to her bandaged arm. Can someone explain to me what happened? I passed the data to Annika and she tried to broadcast to Ubio. Cameron folds his arm, but Lane was more paranoid than we expected. He was listening in. Either that or his lapdog Dachi rented this out. She shakes her head. I would have put him down if he hadn't got up on the jump on me. Either way, I had to pull Annika out. Carmen's turned back to the look over dark side. The information did get through, though. The Ubi is in crisis as its members are siding with or against Lane. Meanwhile, Dachi's hunting us. Because here's her face. Means we need to be careful. So I called you. Seraphim puts a hand on your shoulder. You need to watch your back. Indeed, but how do you... About the mainframe, were you successful? Explain the events of the cycle. The mainframe booted up, successful connection. The receiver getting locked inside, frozen by some other force. You mentioned their warning that someone else was in here. Carmen nods thoughtfully. Unfortunately, we need the mainframe more now than ever. With Annika out of the bow, we need to get the word out. Carmen's right. Bo being distracted by the revolutions won't last long. Without further proof, they're going to let it behind Lane. We have to free the observer. We need the mainframe observer just to access to him. If it's your protocol being locked by some counter-protocol or agent, I wouldn't be surprised if you can trace it back to Bo. Annika looks at Carmen. Location of a few Bo network nodes. We can hit them first. No, we need to stay under the radar, sleeper. Crew will investigate nodes quietly. You and I will run interference, keep Bo away from those locations best we can. What if we don't find anything? Bo uses hardline networks of all facilities. If it isn't them locking them down the mainframe, someone is using that infrastructure. You think feeling the safety you felt over as you're trapped. The power that was required to halt that flow of mainframe is vast and grown with the PEP core, or PEP 1. Could it have been a Ubo hacker? You doubt it. Seems like very play. Yeah, no, that's another fucking protocol. It's probably another protocol that was living in the server, being like, motherfucker, what are you doing in my server? That we do. We need to keep running comms between us. Carmen turns to you. Sleeper, Annika will give you this locations to dig into, but keep quiet. Dachi's out there. He isn't easily avoided as some low-ranking enforcer. As I remember fucking breaking his nose. Annika slaps the top of the couple crates supplies that you have noticed before. Consider this a parting gift. A tenure of Bo. She swiped from the gang storehouse. She grins. The might need a resupply. Alright. Keep quiet, keep in touch, and pull this off. I'm assuming there's nothing I can do about the Dachi advance. First we're gonna work on this network node. Bypass the node, hack the node. Physical architecture node sites throughout the dock. Access attempts. Oh fuck, I should have waited. Alright, I wasted a single day because I don't have any dice to play with. Okay, now my dice broke. Alright, so we just fucked up. So neutrals on danger actually are really bad. Well, access node, you can track network through the hard line. Nodes must have if you hack remotely despite the risk of tracking. You've remote access to the node now allowing you to track network. Now believe it, Carmen's shutters through the window, smooth squat ship tucked in a dark bay. How long has that been there? When the nodes were hacked, all the traces established you imagined lead to UBO operator, perhaps some old subroutine, aggressive Solheim protocol gone mad at isolation. No, not this. Never I'd seen a stat ship tucked in the belly of the dark side like a parasite. We need to move on that ship now. Annika's already adjusting her gear. We can hit UBO safe houses for weaponry. That's one. He holds up a hand. There's a gift. Annika, don't be so brash. She turns back and faces both of you. We all had until now was data, conversations, evidence easily denied or destroyed by Lane, but a stat ship hidden inside the station? There's hundreds of crew, thousands of residents who would give anything to protect Darkside from war. Silhouetted against the star. All we need to do is point the direction of, like, hey, there's a fucking literal corporate ship right there. Why the fuck's that there? We turn Darkside on that ship. And unlay at the same time, we leak it all, send it through the mainframe. Ship's location, the evidence of Lane's portrayal, all of it. One thing, until the ship leaves or is taken, the mainframe's locked down. We can't blast out its location to the network because I'm assuming they're holding the network. Carmen pauses, considering his option. We look at the Sinistat ship, half concealed in the bay. It looks sleek, dangerous. What convinces my ship deploy when threatened? Carmen and Annika exchange looks. Then we attack first. I will distract the ship's occupants, turn their focus away from the mainframe, and then you, Sleeper, hit the mainframe and force them out. As soon as the overseer is released, you send everything. Once we hit the network, our backup will come. He gives Annika a grim look. We all need to hold them off for as long as it takes the crew to realize what's happening. The plan feels desperate. You know that Carmen and Annika think it's so too. Will Darkseid really mobilize the ship so quickly? Two old mercs against an unknown Sinistat force feels like an unwinnable battle. We know what stakes Sleeper. Annika takes a deep breath. You handle this. Annika frowns, an unpleasant thought passing through her mind. I give up anything for Rougeau. Let me finish this job. Okay, let's do it. Annika nods. Go to the mainframe, get set up. When you're ready, connect and let us know. Carmen puts a hand on his shoulder. Once you start, don't stop for anything. Get the data out. We'll handle everything ourselves. You turn, glide away, looking over your shoulder at two ex-mercs as they discuss their plan of attack. See you slip back into the old roles. You can't help but wonder, does anyone ever outrun their pasts? Perhaps it's always waiting there in the dark to claim you in the end. I'm going to have him start prepping a hack. When he's ready, come call Annika and strike the ship. You need to prepare to force out the Sinistat hackers out of the system. Once the Carmen and Annika strike, we'll have much time. The heat inside the pab core is intense as you stare at the column of the mainframe, one blinking light still keeping time. You're ready to go. Nurse looks around. We need to let Carmen know it's time. Strike is now. That's Annika's thumb drive, and now slotted in the mainframe terminal, connecting a data packet with everything you need to unseat Lane and reveal the Sinistat ship. You hope that'll be enough. The finger to earpiece, let Seraphim know to relay the message to Carmen. Alright. The voice everywhere, I'll let them know. Don't pause. Be safe, Sleeper. Get this done and come back. I will. Good luck, friend. Tom clicks off as Seraphim switches to Carmen's channel. You wait, imagining conversation, tense words activating plan. You wait long enough to Carmen and Annika to nod to each other, long enough drop down to the bay, silent to check their weapons they stole from Bo, to take their positions, and then to make their move. You grab the connector, hold it behind your head, close close to your access port. You silently count to 3 and then connect. At first, nothing changes. You drop the state of stasis, a small dark space with no cracks. The mainframe is locked down, shut off, squeezed in tight grip. clenches fist, and you see it, a trickle of light, a flicker of threads. Overseer flows into space toward begins to run, rushing gray pulse of data, a connective thread in the jewel of the mainframe. They grow inside of space. It turns and grows. We see you there, Sleeper. Overseer separates and reforms. Who's on the other side? An enemy. The Overseer's three heads nod, then we'll do what's necessary. Overseer explodes. The points of lines the light described. Its human form separates and multiplies, constellations bursting outwards like tree stars. The Overseer's become pure. Now the Overseer's gonna be like, okay, time to obliterate the ships, the fucking Sinistat ships, like literal mainframe. Anything that has a computer connection. As they do, the darkness is pushed back. Its Sinist's mainframe revealed. It's a stack of jeweled services, each revealing a faucet of angle changes. From these faucets, threads cutting across the dark side, the path reaching length the entire station. The arrangement, this invitation. You accept the invitation, sending yourself skimming through the lines, seeing how the station connects and the hums of flow of data. You see at the highest tower, the lowest hex, and the origin of the dark. A squiggle of black wrestles around the single point. The Sinistat ship, now battleground. You see flashing flickers of Overseer dance through it as it cuts it at it. But looking around, you see the Overseers everywhere now, multiplied to 1,000 forms, reunited in a system designed to serve them. They dissolve. You suddenly remember what needs to happen. What you need them to do. You send out separate quests, summoning Overseer, reminding them to your agreement. You take the blight polygon of packet and present it to them like offering to the Overseer, who will disfuse it, crackling all around you. The reconstitution of its functional protocol. You receive no response. There's nothing more than a whisper, scratched away on the flow of data rushing by. And then you hear a static, European Seraphim desperate cry response. You see a bright point suddenly close inside of the core. Your broadcast is going out like a beam from a lighthouse. Reach back to pulling connector just to clear the brightness from your eyes, just to block the broadcasts. I found you, Ling Fritz, the mainframe is sweeping across his eyes, still a curve. I finally found you. Finn slams the lane coming out of the dark with force and violence. You freeze, watching Ling fight back, hearing Seraphin's summer voice. Passing a Demon's crest for aid. Ah! I feel like Finn got this. Or Flint got this. The rest of the connection dive back at home. You, and the constellation of the dark side's over it. They exploded a body of the Overseer stretching across it as it has been atomized atoms. Lane is a beacon, one that flashes close, but you do your best to ignore it. Reach out to the Overseer once more. Remember your protocol. You say, remember your promise. Something begins to form, begins to flicker. As it does, you hear something outside the network, the bright crackle of electrical discharge, the grunt of pain, the impact sounds again. The brightness glows, it draws closer, and blinding white banks up everything. Open your eyes to a smile like knives behind Lane's head. Body of a friend floats stunned in the dark. The figures of Lane's signal carriers reach out in your mind. The box in the viewing window, your eyes, a passenger in your body. Lane is in control. Oh, it's so much easier now. Now that I'm prepared. It's almost a seamless switch. Lane's face is in your vision, smooth, it does not move. The duality of it, like a mirror turned on its face itself. Brittany, you lift your hand in front of your face, turn to introspection. You feel sickened, a flare of panic going through your mind. Look at this. Open and close your fists. Improvements to be made. There are improvements to be made, but this is remarkable. Perfect loop. Looks into your eyes, a perfect loop. I always knew your body was a gift, Sleeper. When I first saw you, a gift you could not recognize because you only saw burden, something to escape from. But I saw what it was. Elaine's eyes flash, an opportunity. Like a puppet, you turn to face the mainframe, you glide a little, your hands reach across the mainframe. Annika's drive glinting in the slot. You control none of this. Imagine having more than one body. More than one agent that would do your bidding. Hand reach down the finger of the thumb pinching or under the dive. Thrilling thought. I feel like the fucking Overseer's already got all of the data. Come on. It couldn't take it 80 fucking years to pull the data from that drive. The short moves you pull the drive free. Then I saw you, my sleeper. I knew I must have you. Voicing your sleeper. Carmen needs a signal now. Voice panic. They can't hold out for any longer. No matter how hard you try, the lips do not move, no words can be produced. I feel like he would just cook and control me the fight. And that wouldn't have mattered. You and your hand in Lane's control. Jump, pull up the earpiece, leaning it far away from the chamber. Enough distractions. You pull up Intercut drive, tip the light in front of your eyes. Some time ago, I set my task chasing you from a hollow thing to a vessel filled. Your finger thumb the transfer drive in your hand, and now I'm able to help with the help of my allies to fill you up. I'm more singular now, more flesh and blood more than you, and my ambition and my desire means you're subservious to me now. You close your fist around the drive, crushing to dust. Weak and broken thing, your time is over. Lan's body approaches you and lays your hand on the side of your head. Pressure, you cannot move, you cannot resist. In the dark, there's a spark. One of Lane's fingers slips the press in the access port of your head. There's a flicker, a flash, something passing through the spaces, something writing the signal back to its broadcaster. We have not forgotten you. Hear the Overseer reconstituted. Yeah, so there's the entire power of the new mainframe of the Overseer that can, like, fucking hopefully obliterate Lane's mind. We're ready to act once more. Overseer holds the data panic and on the scene. Yeah, I was like, of course the fucking Overseer probably ripped the data out of that drive as soon as it was connected. As soon as it was aware again. We were broken, we are many, but now we are whole. We appreciate what you've done. Overseer shapes the packet to a point with a bright sphere of light. It sends the spear through your mind, gently harming none of you. Instead of pointing to find the mind of the other, Lane pierces it directly. You hear Lane scream as his implants burn in his skull, his head flaring a bright white in the cloud, and then that mind goes dark. The pressure on the side of your head recedes. The packet explodes across the network. White, hot, and urgent. In the wake, the data points are seeded conversations, coordinates a conspiracy. The furthest point of the network, it's distant and edge. The data packet arrives a little more than a notification, delivering every device and terminal within its range. But then there's an ear-piercing blast through the. You feel power. For a moment, every thought, every idea, every piece that might make up a self is wiped cleanly from your mind. It takes a long time to put a person back together, a long time in the dark, picking up fragments of once were whole. Ugh. I also feel like the Overseer had to take a lot of time to repiece my fucking program together, essentially my engram. It's like waking from a sleep, you can never be sure what piece might have gone missing in that reconstruction, what might have been lost. But you continue anyways to haze of cycles, distant voices. This, after all, is not the first time you've been to remake yourself, and you imagine this will not be the last. You're up, Seraphim, looking out the lone window in the rig's berth. A slit that stares out across dark side. How long was I out? Gives you a half grin. Best not to think about it. He looks away for a second. Long enough. Suddenly, Seraphim crosses the bunk and embraces you. He squeezes you, then goes back off. Hands your shoulders. Good to see you're up, as always. Come on, we need to find Bliss. Seraphim leads you at the bunk, the ship down the docking tunnel on the other side. So you glide through the docks. He recounts what happened over the past cycles. You weren't the only one that took a beating. He squeezed through the group of cargo reporters. Anakin and Carmen held out against the Sinistat ship long enough, but they weren't without their share of injuries. You look back to their feet now, though. Working together, they managed to quiet down some of the remnant of Bo, stopping factional infighting. They cleared out one of Bo's safe houses over in the Rise. I'm sure they could use help if you need to do something. Marco is on the station too. He wanted to help clean up after Bo fell. He's working with Annika. Înďăğẵ. I should go see him now. You feel like he hasn't quite accepted Marco's appearance. You aren't sure how to react to see him here either. Oh, and Carmen isn't sticking around. He's already left for Oliveira. Seraphin pauses for a second, a memory of the place coming back to you. You watch him sneak the thought away. Junji, meanwhile, is still digging into all the data she pulled from the bunker. She's down in the core most cycles, trying to make sense of most of it. Anyway, you'll soon catch up with everything. He smiles sympathetically. There's something behind the look you can't quite place. You continue in silence, drifting from the depths of dark side. Good friends, side by side. Seraphin leads you down the passage lined with the bright line with screens and lights blasting out shop fronts on either side. You see this place flicker around. He stops outside the familiar door. You woke up all those cycles ago. He gives you a few quick rubs of the knuckles and waits. Hey, sleeper? He looks at you. When you're ready, we should talk about the future, what comes next. Whenever you like. Thanks, I'll let you know. Seraphin looks away. Sleeper! Bliss opens the door, immediately jumps to hug you. And then sheepishly looks between you, Seraphin. First day up, I thought you would come celebrating your freedom. Don't overdo it, Seraphin stinks his head. Plus, there's more important stuff to talk about. He shoots into a shop, his eyes shoot into a shop beyond. Bliss drops down. You sure, Seraphin? They just got up. Can't just wait a cycle? Seraphin looks at you. They should know, Bliss. It's important. They hesitantly and go back to the shop, letting you come inside. Little has changed since you were last there. The stacks of servers, the refurbished hardware secured in the roof, wall netting, the connectors, including the ones that facilitated your reboot. Bliss and Seraphin fall behind quietly in the atmosphere, immediately ominous. I've been keeping an eye on you these past cycles. Bliss looks the leg of the stool on the counter. You can see you're stable. Your frame, I'm sure you know, has been through a lot, and the Overseer pushed Lane out. Well, things got more complicated. All those changes made to your system, he did it through using 𝓤𝓵𝓮𝓬𝓙. He laced it with routines meant to alter your basic function, to accept other emulations, other minds, to open you out to remote access. But the Overseer did correct some of that, or at least wipe it from your system. But the stress involved, and the damage from your last partial reboot, plus files unable to answer their own question. We need to finish the reboot, Sleeper. The one that Lane interrupted. Seraphin always relied to tell you things straight. Not immediately, but at some point soon. I'm not quite ready, but now that you're up, Bliss looks... I'll get to work. It's dangerous? But Bliss takes a break. Look, I'll be honest, Sleeper. I know we need to finish the reboot later, I'm sure of it, but the effects... They shake their head. Frame was complex to begin with, but after everything, reaction could be bad. We can talk more about it when I have... Bliss suddenly, their eyes shooting at the door. Sorry, Flynn floats to the way. They look at you wide-eyed. You're up! They smile at their face. Oh, quick for your face. Good. Good to see you, really good. How you doing, Flynn? Or Flint? I keep calling one of Flynn. Flint. Good. They glance between. Mostly thanks to Bliss. They've been taking care of me. Bliss smiles back. Flint has become my patient too. Bliss clasps their hands nervously together. We've been acquire some stabilizer from Lane's store, which has helped, but we don't have much of the supply. Bliss is gonna reboot me like you were, Flynn cuts in. I won't need stabilizers anymore. She almost sound excited by the prospect. Also, this fucking tracker could be probably turned off too. Bliss took a look. Flint knows what's at risk, but that's me to do that for the procedure. They give Flint a warning look. Still, they shouldn't underestimate the danger. Bliss looks at Flint. Sleeper will also need a reboot. They don't have much choice in the matter. It's essential. Flint goes quiet. Bliss and Seraphin look nervously at you to see reaction and all this. You feel like a spotlight being shorn in your face, all you want to do is time alone to think. We should do it together, Flint speaks quietly. Whatever the risk, we risk it together. They meet your eye. I do that and more. Let's pick this up in the future, Bliss tries to calm the tension. I need many cycles to prepare, especially if I'm to reboot both you simultaneously. It's your choice, Sleep. We decide when they reach out and lay the hands at yours, but without this, you will soon begin to decline. I'm sorry for that. Your head spins. Seraphim slaps a button on the door. Come on, Sleeper, let's get some air. You follow him outside, but when you get there, all you can think, you can't breathe. You don't need to breathe. A wave of claustrophobia passes over you. You're in control, Sleeper. Seraphim stares at the lights at the flicker row, looping endlessly. You put what you need in order, and I'll be right here. I got Bliss to teach me a little bit of the repairs I've been doing for you. Seraphim rubs his hand together. I know it's getting worse, but I'll do my best to keep you running. You let me know when you want to leave. I'll fly you out this place faster than you can believe. He turns his face to you, and then we can go wherever you need. There's time for us yet. Thank you. You never need to thank me, Sleeper. He pats you on the shoulder. Just look out for yourself. But also thinking, Seraphim looks away. I got the message from ศ์`Olivera. They're still getting the place together. Carmen heading back. They're only starting a new chapter. Maybe we should head out there for at some point. Lend a hand. He pauses, unwilling to push it further. Just a thought. Anyway, give me the word. Seraphim smiles. We'll all go back. We're all glad you're back. He turns and drifts away, leaving you amongst the cycles of colors, claustrophobic sounds of flicker row. You close your eyes and let them wash over you. A wave. There, in the dark of your mind, you search there for the Overseer, but the protocol does not appear. But you wonder if the final moment the Overseer might have destroyed themselves in the dim light. I know, I'm pretty sure that it's just in the fucking mainframe. But then you feel it, a flicking in your eyes, signal in the dark. You open your eyes, seeing something pass through these screens of flicker, a shadow, all brightless. Could the Overseer still be there in the ancient network of the Habpep? Turn away and glide out of the row. You have other things to worry about now. Alright, before we continue on with this, I need to take a break. I need a second. I feel like Cadet's gonna be like, okay, it's now time to go and poke the things and stuff. Alright, I'll be right back though. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a subscription, leave a comment, a like. Maybe head over to my Twitch and Kick and follow me there and say hi. I hope you have a great, wonderful rest of your day.
The night is young, but it feels so old. A story written, yet never told. The mask is heavy, the air